It's good morning and welcome to An Hour with Bob. This is a couple first today, by the way. It's the first time I've done a show at 10 in the morning. And it's the first time I've sat in this seat. All to accommodate my next guest, who I've been trying to get on the show for, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years, something like that. And she finally made it. And she's on Channel 10 in the morning. Let me think if you can guess before I tell you who it is. Alison Bologna, you got it? She's on in the morning on NBC 10 with my good friend Mario Hilario, right?
Yes.
How are you?
He's everybody's good friend, right?
Oh, he's a good guy.
I'm good, and thank you for accommodating my crazy schedule. I appreciate it. Not only do I change up what time I come in, I took your chair.
You took my, it's the first time.
Yes, thank you.
I've been doing this 31 years.
I asked permission, and you did say yes.
I did, yeah. Oh, no, you didn't take it. You asked, you did ask. You were good enough to ask. But you...
Mixing it up.
Huh?
Mixing it up.
Mixing it up is right, yeah.
Well, how could I say no after all these years, especially because I know you have Pawtucket roots, so of course, right?
That's right. You don't Pawtucket roots, but you've been here a long time.
Been there a long time, yes. I love the city of Pawtucket.
How long have you been here?
I moved to Rhode Island in 2002.
Right.
Providence. And then I moved over to Pawtucket after that. So when did I move over to Pawtucket? Probably like 2004, 2003,
That was probably
2004.
a good move.
Soon.
That was probably a
Yeah,
pretty
I
good
lived
move.
on the lofts that were right on the river when that was all getting redeveloped down there
Oh,
across from City Hall.
Blackstone Lofts? Is that where you
No,
live?
across from City Hall.
Oh, okay.
The riverfront lofts.
Right.
And then I bought a house in the city. So after that. So yeah, we're kind of neighbors, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a good city.
Yeah, I knew you were in Pawtucket.
Yeah.
And you have a business in Pawtucket.
Yep. I started Shri in 2010.
You said, what is it called?
It's called Shri.
Shri.
Means light,
Oh,
radiance,
excuse me.
abundance.
Oh.
So it's
And that's what, a yoga studio?
It started out as one room as a yoga studio in my immediate community just to help with community health. And then it grew into a pretty large outreach organization now. So we serve schools, shelters, hospitals, recovery centers, social service agencies, more than 8,500 students a year.
Cut it out.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a whole team of us
No wonder
obviously
I can't
behind
get a hold
this.
of you.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's a lot. So I'm leaving right after I leave you, going to meet the Department of Health over at Shri to talk about some grant work that we're doing for them with suicide prevention and veterans. So yeah, it's busy. It's my passion project, my work.
Right.
So we outgrew 3 leased spaces, all in Pawtucket,
Right.
and then
Where was
we
your
bought
first
a building.
one? Where's your first
The
one?
first one was on Broad Street, downtown, 21 Broad Street.
21 Broad
Then
Street.
we moved to the
Oh, yeah,
Armory.
yeah.
And then we moved to Hope Artiste. And then we bought a mill and expanded the mission into affordable housing and other social enterprise commercial real estate work.
Now, what do you intend to have? It's not finished, right?
It's done.
The housing's all done?
The housing is done.
Is it really?
You didn't come to the ribbon cutting, Bob.
No, I did not, apparently. Apparently, I wasn't invited. When was it?
No, it's open to the public. It was August 28th.
Right.
So we bought the building January 30th, 2020. And then March 13th were the devastating fires that burned down 1 million square feet of architecturally significant mills. We were right on the corner. We just escaped it. Then
Now, wait a minute. Where was the fire? Was that on
sorry,
Pine
March
Street?
13th, the state shut down for COVID. March 14th was the fires. The fires were along Pine Street, and it burned
Right, I
down
thought it was
all
Pine,
those
yeah.
buildings.
What was that? Was
Part
that
of Pawtucket-
Paramount? Was that
yes,
Paramount Card,
yes,
right?
Yep, that whole chunk.
Yep.
Beautiful buildings, and they were in
Yes.
the process of getting redeveloped. So that was actually March 13th, the state shut down for COVID. March 14th, the fires. Still, if you go there, it's just ruins right now. So we'll see what's going to happen. And then inflation hit and supply chain issues. So we opened August 28th officially with a ribbon cutting.
Of this year?
Of this year.
Well, that was only a couple weeks ago.
We did pretty well. I mean, considering, yeah. So 3 years to get this thing up and running. I mean, it was a blighted, underutilized building, 15,000 square feet. So we're 3,500 square feet of it, Shri is.
Right.
So that's where we serve folks in the community directly, and we use that as home base for all of our other
Now, how do you
work
spell
outside
that?
of the
Shri,
state.
is it S or C?
S-H-R-I.
S-H-R-I.
It's in the language of Sanskrit, which is a yoga word, and it means light, radiance, abundance, but we also use it like an acronym: support, honor, respect, inspire.
Oh, my God.
So every class starts with an intention around this. There's a curriculum, there's training, so on and so forth. But even more interesting at this point I'd like to talk about is in the building across the hall, we leased to the Segway Institute for Learning. It's a charter school, K through 8, soon to be K through 12. Their food pantry, their family engagement center is operating out of our building. And then the Flying Shuttles art program, it's the Arc of Blackstone Valley. It's an art program for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. They work out of there as well. They were my first adaptive group that I started in 2012. So now they're our neighbors with their art studio. And then upstairs is a combination of 3 market rate and 5 affordable housing units.
How big are they? What are they, 1 bedroom?
1 and 2 bedrooms. It's a combination of both. The whole building's electric, so we went as green as we possibly could.
Oh, God, wait a minute. Now,
Yeah, no gas.
all electric?
Yep.
So
I know what
it's
you're
got to be
thinking.
solar, right?
We were going to do solar, but it's complicated with an historical building, so.
Oh, my God, it's got to be expensive.
No, it's all brand new, energy efficient
And it's not expensive?
equipment. It hasn't been terrible so far, so we'll
Wait a
see.
minute,
We
you haven't
moved
had
in
a winter
June.
yet. Oh, yeah, you hadn't had a winter yet.
No, but with the all new windows and everything, so I'm hoping it's a nice, tight building. That's what we're
Oh,
accounting for.
no.
So don't go there, Bob. It's going to be good.
Listen to me. I've done construction
It's not
work.
those systems from the past, though.
I know.
These are brand new energy
I hope
efficient.
so.
I
Well,
hope so.
well, how high are the ceilings, too?
High.
Yeah, that's a problem.
We're going to be fine.
You put ceiling fans in them?
Yes.
Big fans in them, right? So push the heat back
Exactly.
down. Otherwise, it goes back up
Yeah,
and
no,
you
we're going to
waste
be good.
it. Now, the
Only
other
positive.
thing I have problems with
Yeah.
electric heat is, are the outside walls, are they all brick?
Some of them are. Yeah.
Because-
Yeah, actually, the whole building's brick.
No, I know that, but the
And then we have
inside
sheetrock
walls-
in some
Oh,
areas.
good, good.
Yeah.
At least you have sheetrock or something.
Yeah, and all the windows are brand new, and they're all tightly insulated with a
right.
brand new
'Cause
blow-in
brick
foam or
conducts
whatever
cold.
it's called. Yeah. No, we discussed all this during design.
did?
But yeah, I just wanted to go green. Solar, we didn't have enough of a flat roof to really put it on, and then there's complications when you're dealing with an historical building about that. So.
That's too bad, because that would be great for that, if you could
Yeah,
go solar.
and we could probably maybe in a couple of years, if we
Right.
want to, retrofit it. We can easily just plug into the system we have and just put the panels on. So that's possible.
Well, maybe you could put it, do you have any grounds?
We do, but not enough for that. It's parking, and then we have like park space. So
Right.
actually, it's beautiful now. We have grass and proper
Really?
drainage, and we have big, beautiful industrial planters with evergreen trees. And right now it's fall, so we planted cabbage, and so you'll have to come see it.
I do.
There are free classes for Pawtucket residents on Thursday nights and Saturday
Really?
mornings.
Yoga classes?
Yes, all
I
levels.
can't
all
even move. What do you
accessible.
mean yoga?
Then you should be doing
I
yoga.
need 2 new knees.
Then you should be doing yoga.
Really? That help my knees?
Yes. You can be in a chair, you can be on the mat. It's fully accessible. Most of the students who come to us are in jeans and t-shirts. It's not like we're standing on our heads. So it's way more accessible. And it's a lot about just finding clean, safe, accessible space to have some quiet time too, which is hard these days. We're always
Really?
on our devices.
Well, that's why I do. The house I live in is a 3 family.
Yeah.
I'm the only tenant. I didn't want anybody above me. I
Yes.
moved into the house I grew up in,
Okay.
redid the whole thing,
Yeah.
and I said, I don't want anybody above me.
Oh gosh. Well, Mario, I'm trying to get Mario to move closer to me because he's in Cranston right now, and I think he's enjoying kind of soon, at some point in his life, he's going to enjoy more of an urban experience. So we'll see.
Really?
see, yeah.
Oh, you think you're going to get him up there?
I don't know, Pawtucket, but probably Providence, I would imagine.
Really?
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah?
I don't know. You'll have to ask him and see.
I will ask
Yeah.
him. I
Yeah.
will ask him. And Barbara. Now, do you see Barbara in the morning
I don't
too?
see Barbara a lot because we have opposite schedules.
Right.
Sometimes there's crossover when I'm there later in the morning and then she comes in earlier. It just kind of depends. But I've known Barbara obviously for a long time too.
Yeah.
So I started in 2002. Barbara's been there obviously longer than me, and Mario too. But
They
yeah,
didn't they start the
2002.
same time? They started the same. No, they didn't.
Oh, did they start the same time?
I think they did.
Close to.
I think they did.
And then I'm very, very close. I was actually on the phone with Gene Valicenti before I came in here. He started before me too, but
I remember.
I do a lot of work now at 10 News Conference with him.
Gene
so.
Valicenti was on the show within 2 months after he got hired.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
Everywhere, all the time.
he holds the record on the show.
I believe it.
He does,
Yeah,
he
he says
does.
hello because I just was chatting with him.
He's a crazy guy. You know, he's a good
He's
guy.
got a lot going on. What a radio show, huh?
Yes, yes.
He's good at
He's
it.
he's better
he
than
likes
anybody
it.
else.
He's popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did he get that gig, though? I mean,
He's good at it.
no. I mean, to get off the news. How did he get?
Well, he's still doing the 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I know,
Channel
but
10.
only the 6.
Yeah, I mean, he can.
He's
divide his own
Gene,
schedule,
that's
I
why,
suppose.
right?
He's Gene.
He's Gene.
And he makes news. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an old. What I love about Gene is, yes, he's Rhode Island's anchorman, right? As everybody likes to say.
Right, right.
But he's a reporter at heart. Like he breaks
Oh,
stories
yeah.
on the radio. He and I are always talking about news stories on the side. Like we're in it for news. We're not in it for any other reason.
Right. And that definitely is passion. There's no doubt about it.
It has to be these days,
I remember when
right?
he first started. He had the,
Trench
the
coat,
mustache.
mustache,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
that trench coat. Yeah, that was.
know.
I remember one show he did was he walked in a I think it was a meat store or
Yeah.
some kind of either a restaurant or a meat store, and he tore him up. So
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah, that was the.
He's from Jersey, but everybody just considers
Yeah,
him
but
a
he's
Rhode
been here
Islander.
so long. He's been
Yeah.
here so long. But getting back to you,
Yeah.
how many degrees do you have?
I don't know. No, 3. So I went to
Columbia?
So I went to Northwestern undergrad, which I
Right.
loved. And my best friends from college, we get together once a year. We go to different places. This year we're going to Austin, and they're all amazing women. Then I went to Columbia, and then I went to Harvard.
What would you say, Austin, Texas?
We're going to go to Austin this year. Last year we went to Sedona. The 3 of us, they all have kids. I don't, so their schedules are a little more even challenging than mine. But yeah, once a year we all get together, and they all do incredible things. So I'm the journalist of the 4 of us. My girlfriend Kavita, she's at Kellogg actually doing her master's at her getting her MBA at Northwestern. She is a healthcare exec. And then
Northwestern,
Monica,
Chicago? That's Chicago,
outside
right?
Chicago. Monica is a corporate lawyer, very high up at IBM, and then Kavita Gupta is a doctor, a pediatrician. So
Oh, wow.
We're all do different things, but we all met like freshman year and we're super tight. So, and they all went off to grad school, all of us. I mean, that was what you did at Northwestern. Everybody went to grad school. So yeah, so I went to Columbia.
Columbia for grad school, right?
Yep, and then
that's your first grad school, though. That's not your.
and then I went for an English degree, which it wasn't really about advancing my career or anything.
Right.
It was just, I genuinely like being in school. So
yeah,
I went and I
apparently.
studied literature it was a 5-year kind of extended program, so I could still keep my job and work. And I went to Harvard for that, yeah.
And wait a minute, didn't you go to law school too?
I did not go to law school on top of all that. No, that would be impressive though.
Well, that told me. Somebody told me you went to law school.
I did not go to law
Somebody
school.
lied
No,
to
my
me.
other master's is in literature.
Yeah.
So it really has, well, I suppose it has journalistic ties, right? You can make cultural connections with things, but it's not like a quoting Thoreau on the Sunrise Show. So.
Wow. So you spent, what, 10, 12 years in college?
Yeah, but my second master's, I was working at the same time,
Right,
so
yeah,
I was
yeah.
able to do both. Yeah, but my whole family's like that. We like to study and be in school. I know it sounds really.
So where are you from originally?
I am from Connecticut,
Where?
New Haven. I was born in New Haven, but my family moved
traffic-
around a
the
lot.
traffic jam spot
Yeah,
on
we moved
95.
around. I was born at Yale New Haven Hospital, but we moved around a lot. So I grew up mostly in San Diego.
Oh, God, nice.
Which I do not look like, I know, a San Diego girl, but
Yeah.
then and then now my whole family's in New England. So my sister moved to Maine. She lives in Maine, and my other sister Jackie is nonverbal and autistic, so she lives at home with my parents, and they moved here to Rhode Island.
Oh.
So they live in Jamestown,
Oh, nice.
and Jackie comes to Shree programs.
My son lives in Jamestown.
Yeah. So Jackie's involved with 2 different programs, Life and Looking Upward. She still lives at home, but she does day programs with those social service agencies. Yeah, so it's busy. It's a busy household.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no
I'm the oldest of 3 girls.
boys, and no brothers.
My poor dad.
You what?
My poor father.
Yeah, I know it. You must have had a dog, and it's probably female.
No,
right?
we
You
had
didn't
no
have a dog?
dogs. No, I didn't get a dog until I turned 40-something. Yeah, so now I have 2 dogs, Basil and Betty, but I didn't get them
What
until
kind?
now.
What kind of dogs?
Betty is my gorgeous girl. She's a half Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, half Pekingese. She just turned 10 this
Wow.
month. And then Basil's in the family. Basil is a lab, a yellow lab.
Nice dog.
Beautiful dog, lots of energy though, American lab, 2 years old. So that's kind of a cute story too, because my cousin has Dallas, the mom, had a litter. So 4 of the labs from the litter of 9 all stayed with Bolognas. So Jessica has 1, my sister. I have 1, my cousin Tracy, and my cousin Christy. They all have 1 from the litter. So there's 4 Bologna labs out there, which I think is kind of funny.
Now, Bologna that's an Italian.
Of
name.
course it's Italian, Bob. Hello.
I know, but you said San Diego.
I know, it's weird.
There's not a lot of Italians
No,
in San Diego.
but I'm not fully Italian. My dad
Neither
says
am I.
It's a shame, but
Italian, Irish, and what else?
Yeah. Well, my mom's like Irish, English.
Mine's Italian, Irish, and French.
Yeah, so my mother's a little French Canadian, mostly Irish, English, and a little bit of German. But my dad's like Italian.
I believe that Italian and Irish are the #1 combination
Yeah, it
in
seems
Rhode
like it,
Island.
right?
It is.
Yes. So my neighbors in Pawtucket, some of my best friends, Gail and Michael Palatucci, same as me. He's like
Really?
Irish Italian. Yeah.
There are other
And the
Italians
dad's-
in Rhode Island?
Who knew?
Wow.
Actually, it's funny. When I moved up here, and I didn't know anybody, and And it was an election year. It was like Igliozzi was right. Like there was all Italian names, right? And my father came up to visit me for a weekend because I was kind of lonely. He's like, oh my gosh, Al, everybody in the state is Italian. He's like, pretty good. He was joking about it. But yes, I think that's one of the reasons why I felt so at home here. I don't know. I thought this was going to be NBC.
Right.
I used to be a producer for NBC News. And then I came up here because at the time, NBC owned Channel 10. Exactly. It was a O&O, owned and operated station. And there were 2 openings for reporters. So I came up, did a little tryout with Betty Jo, and it ended up being kind of like a job transfer. And I figured, oh, okay, great. I'm going to get some reporting experience. I really liked the food, the people. I loved living in Providence. Made friends pretty easily up here, which was really nice.
Right.
And, thought it was going to be a stepping stone. Yeah, I thought, well, I'll do a couple years and I'll go somewhere else. I did end up going up to Boston for a few years. But Rhode Island, I was still living in Pawtucket at the time, commuting. Yep. But I don't know, Rhode Island's always felt like home since I got here. I know that sounds corny, but it's true. And I really kind of dug in, and now my family moved up here to be closer to me. So it's nice. It's a great lifestyle, Rhode Island. Yeah. It really is. Like, where else can I have a full-time job doing what I love as a journalist? And then when I leave that
and then
job,
drive 10 minutes or 20 minutes.
Yeah, and do all this community outreach work that is really my passion project on the side. I say on the side, but it's important. It's important work, and it keeps me connected in the community. I think it makes me a better journalist too. Right. I'm doing these Ask Alison segments now for Channel 10 under the iTeam umbrella, and I'm fortunate to know so many people. I can just pick up the phone and kind of help people out.
You did a good one the other day.
Well, it's always road work lately. Everybody wants to know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what it was.
This sign, that sign. Poor DOT. I'm on like.
Well, you had something changed right away by bringing it up.
I try.
Yeah, you did. What was it?
Being
what was
a pest.
it? It was what, Route 10? Was it something on Route 10?
Route 10 signage. A lot of stuff that happened.
Oh, I know what it was. I know what it was. The sign going on one side.
146 and 95. Yeah. Some of the stuff that we help viewers with doesn't even end up on the air either. Like a lot of license plate stories come in. Somebody had like what's called a preferred plate, got in touch with the governor's office, they fixed it. I mean, we didn't air that, but like a lot of good stuff.
Preferred plate? They had
preferred plates, they couldn't get it through, they wanted it, it was like, got stuck in essentially a bin, but now they got their plate, so they were happy. So
well, that's a big deal.
It's a very big deal. I don't totally understand it for some reason, why a license plate is that important.
Do you remember the one that happened in Lincoln, where the guy tried to buy the plate for 20 or 25,000?
You can't do that. That's crazy. I don't understand the whole low number thing.
Yeah.
Bizarre to me.
Okay. I know it was a low number. It was under 20 or something. It was 20.
But actually, it's kind of what I love about Rhode Island, all these quirky little things, right? Totally quirky little things. So at SHRI, we've moved into the building. All the social enterprise nonprofits are in. Most of the tenants are in, but we're working on a cafe now. There was like an abandoned garage on the campus that we own, so we're now building that out, and that's going to be something kind of cool and new for Rhode Island too. An agency called LIFE. It stands for Living in Fulfilling Environments. It's a social service agency working with adults with intellectual, physical, and developmental disabilities. They run a cafe in the Veterans Home in Bristol. Right. So it's a workforce development training program where adults with disabilities run the cafe, and whatever profits they make, they keep. Nice. So they are taking over this garage that we have. I'm building it out for them, and then they're putting in the kitchen. And we'll be opening that this fall, I think late this fall. But it's going to be called the Life Cafe. So I'm hoping that'll create some employment opportunities for folks too. And then my husband really loves to cook, so we might be doing supper clubs and stuff. So that'll be kind of fun. That's something new on the horizon. Anybody who knows me well knows I love a project, so there's always the next one.
Well, you're nonstop. You're nonstop.
I'm intense.
What time do you get up in the morning?
3:08.
Oh my God. Why 3:08? Why 3:08? That was my license plate. They used to be my license plate.
Really? Oh my gosh. I don't know why 3:08. And then I really
not 3 o'clock though.
But then I hit the snooze. No, it started 3. Then it became 3:08. I have no idea what the significance is. I get in later than Mario. Mario gets in like around 3:30. I get in around 4. But I also work. I'm the type of person that I like to kind of be under pressure and work fast. Right. I can get through scripts fast and just get on the set and go. That's kind of like I do better that way. Yep. Versus like hanging around. So.
Well, I'm kind of the same.
So I'm I'm a little intense.
No, I wouldn't.
Not at all.
You can't tell that.
No, not at
all. You
all.
can't tell that. No. Oh my God.
I know.
Are you a speed reader too?
I can read pretty fast.
Yeah.
I can type pretty fast.
Yeah.
Actually, I was so angry at my mother because she sent me to summer school to learn typing, and I thought it was a complete waste of time, but it was actually quite useful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I mean, news, especially the way news is delivered these days, it's quick. So with all my Ask Alison stuff, I'll do 2 camera sit-downs. My last one was with the new head of the psychiatric hospital. Slater Hospital broke up, and now we have the Rhode Island State Psychiatric Hospital. So I did like a long format 2 camera sit-down with Dr. Bader. But otherwise, the Ask Alison stuff has kind of taken on a life of its own. Every Tuesday and Thursday morning is kind of a quick Q&A, quick question answer. It seems to just work better for the audience.
Right.
Like, why is this broken? How do we get it fixed?
Now, what's the big turnaround between the time you get the question and the time you
some of them can be the next week. Some of them take more time. There's not really a standard answer to that, actually. It can be anything. Like the one that's coming on tomorrow has to do with in a building on the east side where they've had a lot of problems. What's happening with it? The city took about a week to get back to me, and then we'll air it tomorrow. So that one, 2 weeks maybe.
Really?
Yeah. But I try and be like fair to all the viewers, so I put everything in order of when they come in. And not every question is, some of them are very quick, and I can give, like, I had something about like shark license plates come up this week, and I could answer her right away because I just knew. So it just depends on the nature of the question.
Right.
But yeah, we have time dedicated on Sunrise every Tuesday and Thursday to actually air these questions and answers, and I usually get about a minute to do it, which I know doesn't sound like a lot of time, but forces you to write faster and get information quicker, right? Get right to the point. And then when I see space for more in-depth reporting, I'll go there. Channel 10's pretty good about letting me pick and choose where and what that is.
Yeah.
Do
you know, years ago, many years ago, I did a TV show called That Now with Bob and Bob's Big Adventure, 2 separate shows. Yeah. The adventure show where I travel. And I was contacted years ago by, I'm trying to think who the guy was. Anyway, he was the program director over there, or the general manager. It's the GM first, and then the
GM's the top, yep.
And the program director is the second, or the news director?
Yeah, well, it depends on which side, whether it's sales or news. But
news.
Joe Doris?
No, this is a long time ago. And he asked me, they approached me, he came on my show, and he said, he had talked to me about it before, and he came on the show and he announced it that coming May. This was like in December. He's coming during the sweeps, the May sweeps.
Yeah.
He says, Bob, we're extending the news from 30 minutes to 35 minutes.
Whoa!
The 11 o'clock news.
Yeah.
They were extending it to 11:35 because they were adding in a segment where I went out and did like kind of what you do, go around and do an adventure. It could be anywhere. It could be doing anything. And I said, well,
what year was this?
Oh God, it had to be. It was 20 years ago anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had to be. It was more than 20. Probably 25 years ago. Here's what happened. And he announced it right here. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. He's still around. He's still in the media. In fact, I'm a Facebook friend with him. I can't think of his name. He's been on a lot of. He was in New Orleans for a while, in a station down there. That doesn't click for you.
This is before my time. Yeah.
Anyway, he talked about. I said, well, why? He said, because you're the guy. Everybody knows you and all this stuff. I said, oh, that's great. So he said, we're going to start that during the sweeps. So. He left, and we were talking about it for a while, me and my crew, and who's going to come with me when we started picking things to do. And then I get a call saying it was canceled.
Oh, Bob, that stinks.
Yeah.
That's TV for you, though. I mean, that's how it goes. But you're talking to Liz Bateson after this, right?
Yeah.
After me? She's great. It's nice to have her at Channel 10 because she also does Weekend Sunrise and fills in for me, and she's a great education reporter, and she's a Rhode Island girl. So we love having Liz.
She's from East Greenwich,
East Greenwich, yeah, she's great. Yeah, so I'm glad she's coming on with you, too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Again, I told you, I lived there for 5 years, I guess. I really loved it down there. And I may end up back down there at some point.
Maybe.
It could happen.
I don't know, you sound like a real estate mogul from what I'm hearing before we went on the air. You have more real estate than me, so.
No, you got bigger real estate than me. Yep.
Yeah, it's an adventure, for sure. Well, come visit Shree sometime. Do you want a tour?
Shree, a tour at Shree.
390 Pine Street.
390 Pine Street.
Yes, you'll come and see a tour. You can see, we have a mini museum in the building, all about the Industrial Revolution in Pawtucket and who was in the building long before us and what they were doing and why it matters
and
to Rhode
who was
Islanders.
in the building before?
Hezekiah Conant.
What?
And his name was Hezekiah Conant.
Hell of a name.
Yeah, he came over from England, Scotland, and they brought thread manufacturing to Pawtucket.
Wait a minute, was that what we were talking about before the company? Was that
Conant Thread.
Conant Thread.
Yep.
You know, who also used Jade Rubber used to be in that building too, I think.
Maybe on the complex somewhere.
Yeah,
it's possible. For
Jade
sure.
Rubber and
J&P Coats.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so, Coats and Clark.
Yeah, Coats. That's where we are. Yep. So all of that got merged, and it all came under like one umbrella. But Hezekiah Conant worked out of 390 Pine Street. It was the new administration building. That's why it's filled with safes. So there are safes all over the building.
It's filled with safes?
Mm-hmm. So there's like 2 in the studio. There's 1 in the lobby. And then we had to create, for modern day living, we had to create a new staircase in one section. We built it within 2 walk-in safes.
Cut it out.
So you got to come see it.
No, wait, do you have
architecturally, it's really cool.
Do you have the combinations to any of the safes?
I haven't gotten that far yet.
No?
I do need to get somebody to
Yeah.
There's going to be nothing in it. Although if there is, I won't have a mortgage, which would be really
Wouldn't
great.
That be cool?
That would be great. That would be fantastic.
Wow. How big are the safes?
One of them is 6 feet tall, 4 feet wide, big. And then some of them are maybe 3 feet tall.
I'll give you one to think about. The big heist in Boston.
Oh, that was wild,
of the
right?
The art heist.
Yeah.
Imagine if you open that safe.
At the Gardner Museum, right?
Yeah. Imagine if you open that safe and all the...
What if? Well, I don't know. The big one, that would be wild.
Wouldn't that be?
I'm definitely going to be doing new things then.
Can you imagine?
I'll be buying 10 more buildings at that point. And renovating them.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
you get 10%, right? If you
Finder's fee?
Yeah, you get a 10.
Yeah, I have to say, revitalizing this building. It's in the Italianate style. It's on the historic register, on the Register of Historic Places. Beautiful. I loved doing it. It was a lot of work. I learned a lot along the way, but I had a great architect. I hired a Pawtucket Central Falls Development Corporation to help me with it. Rhode Island Housing, Providence Revolving Fund. There were a lot of people involved in this, and I would, if I did it again, I would do it with the exact same team. But it was a lot.
Yeah?
It was a big deal. Yeah. Especially when you're working 3 jobs.
I had a question I always wanted to ask you.
Okay.
I probably should ask you off camera, though.
Oh, that sounds weird.
When you were in college,
Okay.
Columbia, I think. Where did you work? Did you work somewhere when you were in Columbia? Did you do something while you were in Columbia?
Well, I've always had, I know what you're talking about. Internships?
Yes.
Yes, I've interned at ABC News, NBC News, Papers, the Virginian Pilot, a PBS station in Chicago, WBBM, and the White House.
Exactly.
Yes, I interned in the White House during the Clinton years.
Yep.
After Lewinsky, but before the whole scandal broke. And I was in the West Wing in the press office. What year was that? That was between college and grad school. That was 1997, summer of 1997.
How come you've never mentioned that? I've never heard you mention that.
I don't know.
That's
It
a
was
big
quick.
deal.
Well, it was 6 weeks. It was fast. It was a great experience.
It's a big deal, though.
No, it was a really great experience. It was nice to be on the other side, to be behind the podium.
Right.
But it was 6 weeks. It was fast. But McCurry was the press secretary at the time. And they divide the interns between the old executive office building, which is where the VP is, and then the West Wing. So I was one of the few in the West Wing, which was great. But it was a fast summer.
Yep.
It was a
Yep.
fast summer. It was a great experience, though. But working for Sam Donaldson at Primetime Live way
Wow.
back when, that was really fun.
Yes, yeah.
He was a character. Yeah.
That's-
So I worked. That was when Primetime Live had an
He was
office
with
in
ABC.
DC.
It was
Yeah, that was
ABC
ABC
News
News.
at the time.
That was Mike Wallace was in that office too. That was a fun internship. I've had some good internships.
Yeah.
I worked really hard and got paid nothing for many summers, but I had great experiences at the same time.
Whoa,
so.
you just blasted through all your internships.
I did a lot of internships. I'm a type A. I'm very,
Yeah.
But I was a newspaper reporter before television. And I think at some point I'm going to come back to writing. I don't know what that's going to look like exactly, whether it's a magazine but I would like to get back to my writing roots at some point.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'll buy a newspaper, then we can get you
I
writing.
still read the paper. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about a lot of other younger people in our newsroom, but I do. It's just different, right? Phone or not. So, yeah.
All right, I know I got to let you go because you got to go
Where
back
am
to
I
work.
off to? Yes, I have to meet with the Department of Health for a veterans grant.
When's your day end? What time?
I really, really try to be in bed by 7:30 because if you are totally depleted, you're completely useless. So I really am strict about my sleep schedule. I really believe in taking care of your brain as
Right.
much as your body. So I very rarely MC events at night anymore. If I do, they're far and few between,
Right.
and I have to literally schedule a power nap
Now,
for
how
the
come it's not
afternoon.
7:08?
I don't know. I try and get in bed by 7:30. I'm not always asleep by then. Like yesterday was a really, really long day, so I did squeeze in a power nap and stayed up a little bit later. But I try and keep that space kind of sacred because
Right.
otherwise I'll just get
Well,
burnt
it's good you
out.
can do
and
that.
I want to do a good job at everything I do to the best of my ability. And if I'm depleted, if anybody's depleted, you're not going to be that effective. So you know, Monday was a rough day. Monday was a 15-hour day. Monday was rough, but I scored some more sleep yesterday. So,
Right.
but I try rhythm, ritual, routine, and I try and wake up at the same time every morning and go to sleep at the
Wow.
same time. It doesn't always work, but I certainly
can't do it.
I certainly try.
I can't
Yeah,
do it.
sunrise is not an easy schedule. It's not.
That's a terrible schedule.
It's well, it's hard.
That's a terrible schedule. That's not. That's not
The
human.
thing
That's
is,
not,
though,
that's
Bob,
not natural. That is not natural.
It's not a natural time to wake up, but I will tell you, viewing habits, morning shows are where people wake up and
Oh, I
watch.
love the morning show.
Like if you look at the numbers between like a 6 a.m. and an 11 p.m.,
Right.
it's you can see the way viewer habits are going.
Absolutely.
I do like getting up and banging through that part of my day. It goes by very fast. It's very intense. What's nice about the morning show is it's fast and it's 2.5 hours and it moves and it's not a lot of like teleprompter reading all the time.
Right.
It's more off the cuff. And Mario and I are such close friends that I literally just wake up and like hang out with one of my best friends. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
you know, so I don't know. A lot of people say, do you want to go back to nights at some point? I really don't know. I don't know.
Right, right.
If I didn't have the schedule, I wouldn't have been able to do all of my other community work
That's right.
in the later part of the
That's
day.
right, yeah.
And I try and keep those things separate.
All right, I got to let you go.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I made it on.
Me too. You spent a half an hour with Bob.
Okay, well, I think that's good. But Liz is great. You're going to love seeing Liz.
Okay.
And then you owe me a visit now.
Okay.
So you'll come to
Sweet.
Pine Street. Yeah, you live in Pawtucket, so it's not too far.
Oh,
for
I
you
know
to
where
drive.
it is.
Yeah.
I know exactly where
Yeah,
it
I think
is.
you get a kick out of the building. It's important to the history of Pawtucket.
will.
So.
And I used to be in the restaurant business a long time ago.
Oh.
You know where 10 Rock is?
Yeah, no, I don't like, that's a hard business.
That is
Everybody
a
talks
terrible.
about,
That's what I was going to tell you. That's a terrible
everybody talks
business.
about news. I think that's way harder.
That's
so.
a terrible business. It's
Terrible?
It's the hardest job.
No
you'll ever
gray
have.
in there, huh, Bob? No?
117 hours a week at some point I was working.
That's tough.
Awful, awful.
That's tough. Well, now you do this. So.
All
And
right.
you've been doing this for how long?
31 years.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
All right.
See if I make 31 years.
Well, we'll be right back on An Hour with Bob. Great to see you.
Good to see you too.
Well, folks, we're back. That was a heck of an interview with, what the hell is her name? Alison Bologna. I forgot her name already because I hadn't had her on the show ever. It's the first time I got her on my show. And all the 31 years I've been doing this show, well, she wasn't there 31 years ago, but she's been at 10, about 10 years
Yeah.
now, probably 10 years now. And, oh, wait a minute. Liz Bateson. I got
Hey.
Liz. Hi.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm so glad I got to have you. I feel privileged.
Aw, thanks.
I love you folks over at 10. Well, I
Yeah.
do 12 too. I got a lot of people. In fact, I just had somebody on Channel 12 from Channel 12.
You're getting all of the good grabs.
Yeah, I get a lot of them. In fact, I started to tell you the story off here.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that watch my show already know it anyway. But Catherine Tappan and I did a show, very unusual for me to do a show out of the studio. I do my Bob's Adventure show out of the studio, but my An Hour with Bob show is in the studio. But I decided to do one. I don't know, it was time or couldn't work it in or something, so I did it was either a Friday or a Saturday night. I'm thinking it was a Saturday night, down at 20 Water Street. As you know, you live in
Yeah.
East Greenwich.
Yep.
Right on the water there. You got
Beautiful.
the three, you got Blue,
Yeah.
20 Water Street, and
Harborside.
right?
Yep.
And 20 Water Street.
Good
we
choice.
We worked it out. You know there's a second floor deck
Yeah.
up there? Well, they had a bouncer at the bottom of the stairs so nobody else could come up. And we had the whole top deck
my
to ourselves.
goodness.
It was a Saturday night. I'm pretty sure it was a Saturday. The place was mild. It was in the summertime.
Yeah.
And they set up a beautiful tablecloth table, really nice, really done elegantly. And it was me and Catherine, this beautiful young
Yeah.
reporter, Catherine Tappan, who was a sportscaster for Channel 10, the weekend sportscaster for
Okay.
Channel 10. And I talked about her life and where she
Very
went
cool.
to college, and she was a three-letter athlete in
Oh, wow.
college. Yeah. She was very, and she's, I was going to say bigger. She's not a big girl. She's tall. She's a tall
Okay,
woman. She's
yeah.
like 5'9".
Oh, wow.
And in good shape. She's not a heavy girl. I have to say that because you say big girl, people think a big girl. And anyway, we got into discussion, and we talked about her for an hour, a whole hour. We did a show, and we could have done another hour. Well, soon after that, she got picked up by Channel 7.
Oh my goodness.
And she calls me one day and she says, can you do me a favor? I said, what's that? She goes, can you have my friend on your show? I said, who? She says that she's the number 5 weather girl on Channel 10. That's when they had 5 weather. Now they got 4, right?
Yeah, they have 4 now.
They used to have 5.
No, wait. Now I got to count them.
The Weather Mountain. they
Mark,
used to
Anthony, RJ, Christina, Jason. They have 5 now.
They still have 5.
Yeah.
Okay, they still have 5. Well, RJ's probably been there the longest now, right?
Probably, yeah.
Or
Definitely.
wait a minute. Or is it Mark
Mark?
Searles?
I
Mark
don't know,
Searles
I'm
came
gonna
from
find
6.
out.
I had Mark Searles on channel when he was on Channel 6, and again when he was on Channel 10.
Had to do a redo.
Yeah. Oh, he's a great guy.
He
I love
is.
having him on. I
So
got to get him on.
nice.
He is sharp, really sharp.
Yeah.
And as well as Tony Petrarca on Channel 12 has been on the show a number of times also. But I got to get, Mark hasn't been on in quite a while. Anyway, we had, she ended up on Channel 7, and then I had Dylan Dreyer on the show, and I was told
Look at
this
her
by
now.
them. I was told this by them. I give them a DVD, asked for a DVD, give them a DVD of the show. She took it, ended up on 7, and then to the Today Show.
Seriously.
Is that cool or what?
You played a part in that.
I did. But my best one was, well, not my best one, one's not better than the other, but this, well, she probably my favorite of all time was Christine Johnson, used to be on Channel, remember her, on Channel 12?
Yes, yeah.
She was a backup to Karen Adams. And she
Yeah.
never got on the 11 o'clock news. She did get on Fox, but the first time she was on my show, I said to her, I says, how long you been with Channel 12? She says, going on 5 years. I said, 5 years? You just got on, just became a reporter and an anchor on the. Actually, she hadn't even became an anchor on Fox yet. She was just a reporter. And I said, you've been with Channel 12 almost 5 years, and you're just getting on TV now. I said, who's running that show over there? Monty Millsap and Ray Charles, two blind guys. Not to, so I said, it made no sense. This girl was beautiful, and she's got a perfect personality. My God, she's like you, very bubbly and very
Thank you.
nice going. Yeah, and I said I couldn't believe it. So anyway, the second time she was on the show, she told me that she had been contacted by someone from California, and it was because after she was on my show, a couple of weeks later, I got a call from the studio asking me for asking me for permission to give a copy of the show to someone. And I said, who? And they told me somebody from California. What happened was there was a guy from California, the brother of an agent from California, was down the Cape, and my show used to air in the Cape. And he saw the show, and he called his brother. He said, oh, I got a perfect girl. Apparently they were looking for somebody, TV personality.
Yeah.
And so they asked for a tape, and she came on the show the second time and told me that she had been contacted by them, and they were hiring her. But before no, I'm wrong. She was on the show the second time. It was after the second time. But on the second time, I said to her, I don't know why I did this. I don't know. I bring it up all the time. And people are probably getting sick of hearing it. But when she was on the show the second time, I said to her, after saying that the first time that these people are blind, she came on the show several months later, and I said to her, you know something? And maybe I just did it to build her up, build her own, her own esteem up, because they
confidence.
held her back so long. It was
Right.
crazy. You would think that she would have been exploding on them for, wait a minute, I want to be on TV. All she was doing was answering the phone and making phone calls to the police stations and stuff. So when she was on the show the second time, I said, you know what? I'm going to make a prediction for you. I predict within 3 to 5 years you will not only be on national TV, you will be filling in for Katie Couric on the Today Show. I said it to her on the air. It's on tape, on the air.
Oh my gosh.
I got a call from her a few months later. She said, you won't believe this. I was just hired by NBC. I'm going to work for NBC, right? MSNBC.
Okay.
She got a late night talk show, like 2 in the morning. And then several months later, she called me and she said, you will not believe what I'm doing tomorrow morning. She said, I'm filling in for Katie Couric.
You knew. You're psychic.
No, it was a fluke. It was a crazy fluke. Anyway, let's get back.
That is quite the story, though. You've had some impressive guests on the show.
It is. I mean, that was unbelievable. Now she's with CBS.
Yep.
Right? She's the anchor, the 6 and the 11 o'clock news in WCBS in New York City.
Wow.
She's done well.
Yes,
and you're going to do well in this business.
Oh,
How long
thank you.
How long you been in this business?
So I've been in the business 7 years now. 1 year at NBC 10.
No way.
Yeah. Just 1 year at NBC 10 so far, but I was an intern. I'm from Rhode Island, from East Greenwich,
Right.
so I was an intern at NBC 10 while I was in college, and I grew up watching NBC 10, so it was always my goal
Right.
to get back home and get back to Rhode Island, and I always wanted to work for NBC 10, and then it became a reality.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
So wait, where else did you work?
Okay, so I've kind of been all over the map. I started in a...
That's normal. Though,
how
yeah,
it typically goes in the industry, right? So I started in a tiny town in Minnesota, in southern Minnesota.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was very cold, but such a great experience because the term Minnesota nice is real.
Right.
Some of the nicest people I've
You're right.
ever
Midwest
met.
people.
I love
Great people,
Midwesterners.
Midwest,
yeah,
yes.
they were so welcoming, and I had never been farther west than, I don't know, the East Coast really. Like I had never been out west. So my parents and I drove my little Honda Civic 20 hours to Minnesota. We packed everything in a Honda Civic.
From East Greenwich to
From
Minnesota.
East Greenwich to Minnesota.
Wow.
I know. And I was there for about 7 months.
Yep.
And I was there in the winter, so it was brutal. Most people stay away from the Midwest in the winter. They always said, wait till the summer, wait till the summer. It's beautiful with the lakes, but
Oh, 10,000 lakes.
Yeah, so I didn't make it to the summer. I was there for about 7 months. I wasn't under a contract, so I was able to then put my tape out or my reel out and apply to other places. And then I moved to North Carolina, and I was down there for 5 years.
Well,
and
that's nice though. North Carolina
yeah,
is pretty nice.
I really liked North Carolina, and I was on the East Coast, so I was near
wow.
the beaches, not too far from the Outer Banks.
Nice.
It was beautiful, and I did 2 contracts there. So I started as a morning reporter, and I would anchor the 4:30 in the morning news. And then,
4:30
yeah.
in the morning?
And my alarm clock at that time was, I think I had to be into work at 1 a.m.
You had to, oh my God.
Yeah, I've been doing mornings for a long time now.
And I said that to Alison yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not normal for a
It's
human
not,
being
no.
to get up to work those hours. It is not normal.
Yeah, because right now I have 2 a.m. alarms, and everyone asks how you do it or if you get used to it. And I'm like, I don't think you ever really get used to it. You just learn to deal with it.
You can't get used to it.
You
What
can't.
time
It's
do you
not
go to bed?
natural.
What time do you go to bed? 7 o'clock? 8 o'clock? 6
I
o'clock?
strive to go to bed by 8, 9. I fell asleep at 9 last night. So I have trouble because on the weekend, my weekends are Mondays and Tuesdays, but I'll shift back to normal sleep, and then I'm shifting back and forth.
But
So
that's really got to mess you up.
yeah, my body probably hates me.
Because on a Monday night you can go out on Monday night.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But there's nothing going on.
There's not exactly. I know. I went out to dinner this past Monday, and I wanted to stay out. And my husband's like, I got to work tomorrow. We're going home. But I'm always like, Mondays are my Saturdays.
Now, what does your husband do?
So he's a physical therapist, and he actually started his own. So he's from North Carolina. So I met him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I met him in North Carolina,
Yep.
and I dragged him back up to the Northeast.
Uh-huh.
And he survived his first New England winter. Luckily, it was mild this year, so
Yes, yeah.
he's adjusted nicely. But he's a physical therapist, and he actually opened his own practice here where he works with golfers. So he's based out of Cranston Country Club.
Oh.
Shore Golf Performance is the business
So he
name.
gets up early in the morning.
Yeah, yeah.
Not as early as you.
Not
though.
not quite as early, but he's a morning person.
But how does that work? Because he can't be tired at 7 or 8
Yeah,
o'clock
I
at night.
go to bed earlier than him.
Yeah, that's gotta
I
be
know.
difficult.
I kind of adjust my schedule to I'll get 5 or 6 hours before I go to work, and then I'll go home after work and nap. So I kind of do
Really?
split.
Yeah, that's why
sleep.
it's not normal.
It's not normal.
to do that.
No, it's
I
definitely
mean, I
probably
could do
not
it
good
because
for
I
you.
don't sleep. I just don't sleep.
There you go. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of a person that I've never required tons of sleep. It's probably not good for me, but I can function with. I'm not like I need 10 hours of sleep kind of person.
I tell people all the time that because people that know me know that I'll sleep 3 or 4 hours and that's it.
Oh
And
wow.
Oh yeah, that's all I get.
And that's by choice. You don't even have to get up at.
Right, exactly.
Early,
exactly.
as early as I do.
I could never sleep when the sun's out.
Really?
I cannot stay. If I wake up and
Yeah.
I'll go, or should I say, going to bed with the sun, it ain't happening. I just can't sleep.
Yeah. Interesting. You need
Yeah.
to get blackout curtains. You've probably tried everything though.
I have.
Yeah.
Even the mask. I've tried. I bought one of those machines that what are they?
The sound
noise,
machines. Yeah.
the white
I love
noise
those.
machines.
I have one of those.
I got one. It didn't
Yeah.
work. I unplugged it. I don't even bother with it.
Like
But
I give
I'll go
up.
to bed 2:30 in the morning, and I'm up by 5:30 in the morning. Yeah.
Are you a coffee drinker?
Oh, you know what? I stopped drinking coffee. I drink one cup of coffee in the morning. That's it.
Wow.
That's good. I'm done by noon with the coffee.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I would go.
You'll really be up.
I can't get any sleep.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know I got? Look at this.
Oh, where'd you get that from?
I got this on the set of the Tonight Show, long time ago when Jay Leno was on the Tonight Show. And the reason I bring it up, it'll come to reality in a minute. A friend of mine from Rhode Island, his brother was the opening guy for the Tonight Show. He worked for. He left Rhode Island and Mass. Leno's from Mass.
Okay.
And this guy is from Rhode Island, and they left together to go to California to seek fame and fortune. Well, Leno got luckier than him. They're both comedians, and he ended up working with Leno, right, together. And he found out from a mutual friend that I was going to California to visit my grandfather, and he said, hey, why don't you come to the, so he called me, and he said, why don't you come to the Tonight Show? I said, who's this? And he told me who he was, and he said, why don't you come to the Tonight Show?
Yeah.
I'll hook you up. So I go there, and he told me that they gave me tickets, and he also gave me this big piece of yellow cardboard. He said, make sure you have this showing when you're in line. He has the biggest audience in all of television at the time, 378, and I know that because of what happened. Anyway, I'm in line, way in the back of the line, me and my cameraman, and this guy comes over to me and goes, what's your name? I said, Bob. His last name, I said, Venturini. He says, he with you? I said, yep, follow me. All through the whole line, right into the studio. This is like 3 hours before. And that show is shot at 5:30 at night.
Okay.
Those night shows are shot in the
taped.
daytime. And so he allowed me to go, and he said, you can do anything, but don't touch anything. You can look around, blah, blah. So I got sat in Leno's seat and all that
cool.
shit. Right? And I hung around them.
Yeah.
And then the show started, and it was Goldberg the wrestler was the middle guest. The first guest was Kevin Costner, and the last guest was Ellie McBeal. What was her name? I can't think of her real name. I never can think of her real name. I never watched the show ever. It's before your time.
Yeah, I don't
Ellie
know.
McBeal
I can't help
show.
you out.
Yeah, it was on Fox, I think. I never. Calissa Lockhart. She's married to Harrison Ford.
Oh, okay.
The three of them were on the show. Well, after the show, I got invited to meet them, the three of them. And Goldberg, the wrestler, goes, Bob? And I go, yeah, Bill. He goes, so Leno goes, you guys know each other? And he goes, yeah, he interviewed me a few months ago in Rhode Island, in Warwick, Rhode Island.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was paying back a favor to a guy I know in Warwick, and Steve Barboza, who did a favor for him, big favor for him. So he asked him, anytime you need anything, he said, well, look, and he called him months later. He says, yeah, my son's having his 5th birthday party. Aww. So I had this big party in the backyard, and he stayed all afternoon. And while he was there, we set up lounge chairs, they set up lounge chairs, and I interviewed him for a whole hour with all the kids behind us. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So here, months later, I end up on the Tonight Show with him.
You just know everyone.
And here's how it comes all full circle, because I just opened my mail, yesterday's mail this morning. Jay Leno's, who owns a house in Rhode Island, by the way.
Yes, he does, Newport.
He's doing a show with another good friend of mine, Joe Rocco, who used to be on Channel 10 many years ago with Frank Carpano. They were partners on the weather. On the sports, right? And now he's a promotion. He does big promotions.
Cool.
And he's got a promotion coming with Jay Leno is going to do a comedy act, an hour and a half comedy act at PPAC on the it's the 27th. Of this month.
Oh my gosh, you have to go.
Oh, I'm definitely. I got the ticket with this. I got a ticket in the
so
mail
you are going
for my good friend Joe Rocco. You get a ticket. PPAC.org.
Yeah.
PPAC.org.
I saw a billboard for that on the highway the other day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to their website and get a ticket.
And Leno was very nice to me, and I know I'm bringing this with me when I go to the thing.
Throw it to him on stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Have him sign it.
Well, he did sign it. I think somebody signed it.
Oh, cool.
Somebody signed it. It's under the tape. I know it's signed by Leno.
Oh, very cool.
They only threw 2 of those out there before the act. This guy, Bob Perlow's his name, the guy that went with Leno to California and was his opening guy before Leno come out. And he would explain to everybody. Do you remember when Leno was on the show?
Yeah.
He would come out and he'd shake hands with a select group of people. Well, those people all instructed, do not grab Leno's hand, like squeeze his hand and shake his hand, because they're afraid somebody's going to pull him off the stage or something.
Yeah.
So you keep your hand open when you shake hands with them. And after that, or should I say before that, before he come out, he throws two of these, Bob Perla would throw two of these into the crowd, and he threw it right directly at me.
And you caught it.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
because, like
he knew
I
you?
said, when I was in there by myself, me and my cameraman tasked me, look at this. And they had 2 seats set up, and they had tape across it and said, for Bob V. It was pretty cool.
You got this royal treatment.
Yeah.
That is really cool. That's a story you remember forever.
Exactly. And I still have the ticket too, the actual ticket.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Save that.
Well, getting back to you. Now, you've been married how long?
I've been married 2 years, 2.5 years now.
Yep.
May of 2021, we got married. So we had 2 weddings because of COVID.
Oh.
Yeah, I was kind of planning. We got engaged in 2019, and
Right.
then COVID hit. So then we had planned to get married in May of 2021, and COVID was it was just when the vaccines were coming out.
Right.
But you have to make the call. You can't just decide the day of if you're going to postpone your wedding or not. So we made the call probably a little too early, but in February we postponed it. But then we decided life is short, like we still want to get married. So we did a ceremony on the beach in South Carolina with just our families.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then the next year we did a big wedding, like
Where?
as planned, in
Here?
North Carolina.
Oh, North
actually.
Carolina
Yeah,
also,
North
yeah.
Carolina. But it ended up being, so I'm one of 3 girls, and we all got married the same year.
No way.
We all had weddings the
Oh, my
same.
God.
My poor father.
Oh my God! Has he got any money left?
No, he's like, I'm done with all you children.
Oh my God!
I know, and it wasn't supposed to be that way because
3 get
Yeah.
married in the same year?
yeah. So we had spring, summer, fall.
Oh, at least they were separated.
They were separate, but
Imagine
it
if
was
they're all. When did you get married? What month?
May.
May. Can you imagine if you're all in May or
No.
May and June?
Yeah, because then of course like there's all the bridal showers and the
Yes.
bachelorette. Like it was a year long full of events.
Oh my God!
It was
Just
a
thinking
busy
about
year.
it disturbs me. I
know.
couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, so it was last year when we had all that. So that was a busy year. So this year I'm like, not bored, but it's nice. I have nothing going on. But yeah, so that was a hectic year. And it wasn't supposed to be. We were all supposed to be different years, but the way it worked out
Wow.
with the pandemic.
So what are you, the middle one?
I'm the youngest.
Oh, wait a
I'm
minute. I should
baby.
have picked that up, actually. I should have picked that up. Yeah, you're so vibrant and
Oh,
bubbly.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
The oldest is usually more serious of the 3. Do you
Yeah.
notice that?
She's not though.
She's not?
No, I don't know. She's not like your my middle sister is like your typical middle child,
Yep.
but my oldest is, I don't even know.
Now, when you say
a
typical
wild
middle
card.
child, what do you think of a
Like
middle
she's
child?
just like the middle child. Like me and my oldest sister grew up doing theater. We're talkative. We like performing, and my middle sister is more shy and doesn't like all the attention on her.
Really? Well, that's
Yeah.
unusual. That is definitely unusual.
I know. It's always eventful though around.
So when you say theater, what'd you do?
So I grew up doing actually Rhode Island Youth Theater. At the time it was called Fantasy Works, but
Okay.
I grew up doing that. It's like a summer organization, but I guess they do year round in
Yeah.
Rhode Island, and I would do that every summer, and then I would just do the plays at my school, like in middle school and high school, and I did Hendricken Theater. They do a summer program, so I did that, but I always just loved performing, so.
So I'm gathering that you went to Hendricken High School. Is that where you went?
Well, that's all boys school.
Oh, no, I thought
So
that
no.
wasn't allowed anymore.
No, Hendricken's all boys.
Still?
Yeah.
I didn't think that could be anymore.
I don't know.
I
Maybe
guess.
it is, but
Really?
they have girls come in for like the play, like the
Right.
summer
Yep.
programs and stuff.
Yeah.
But I went to East Greenwich High School.
Oh, nice school.
Go Avengers.
Go. All those schools in East Greenwich are great.
Yeah,
As
I know. I went K through.
As I told
12.
you, my son went to.
I know. We're
Hannaford.
learning.
We're learning. And
I went to I went to school with
grammar
your-
school with him.
Your son. I'm gonna go pull up my old yearbooks.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
That's so Rhode Island though. Like everyone is connected somehow.
He only went to a Rhode Island school for 2 years, and it was both of those years were in Hannaford.
I wonder
and East
we
Greenwich.
had to find out who his teachers were. See if we had the same teachers.
I don't know. Do you remember the names?
Of mine.
The grammar school. teachers.
Yeah, at Hannaford, I had Mrs. Testoni, Mrs. Boren.
Wait a minute. What was her name? Tassoni?
Testoni? No.
Yeah, I think so.
We were in the same class?
I think so.
Wait, no, I had her for kindergarten, actually. I had Mrs. Snyder, now that I think about it.
No, it wasn't Snyder.
Snyder, Boren, and Morris were my 3. Ooh, that's a good memory.
Yeah, huh?
Testoni was 4th grade, but I had her in kindergarten. I wonder if I could name all my teachers now that I'm not going to do it right now. I don't want to forget anyone.
Well, you're not that far out. I mean, I can remember, I went to a Catholic school. I went to St. Mary's, which doesn't exist anymore in Pawtucket. And I had a teacher in the 2nd grade that I can remember today, a nun.
Wow.
Because she used to slap me all the time.
Oh, of course, that's why you remember.
Nuns did that.
Yeah.
A lot.
I thought you were going to say she was your favorite teacher or something.
No, she was not my favorite
Yeah,
teacher.
it doesn't sound like it.
No, because back in the day, you were in the line for everything. You were in line to go to the bathroom. You were in line to go to the auditorium. You were in line to go to lunch. Everything was a line. And she'd come by me and she'd just whack me right across the face. And not tap, slap me pretty good. Like, whoa, what's that for? She gives you a smile and you must be thinking dirty thoughts or evil thoughts or bad thoughts or whatever. Aww. Yeah, and she would do it a lot. Yeah.
Like, I'm just happy.
And then we're talking half a century ago and I still remember her name.
Yeah, that will leave an impression on you.
Yeah, I still got the imprint.
No.
I still got the imprint on the side of my face.
Oh, no.
Well, that's crazy. So we're going to have you around for a while, I hope.
Yeah,
Channel 10.
yeah,
now
definitely.
You do what? On the weekends you're the anchor, right?
Yep, Saturday and Sunday mornings,
right.
And then I'm throughout the week.
You're a reporter.
Reporter in the mornings or kind of wherever they need me. But in mornings is my typical schedule.
Because I watch you on the weekend, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I do.
Me and Anthony.
Yeah. I almost called you to ask if you wanted to bring him.
Yes, next time we'll come back.
I'm going to have you back.
You need to have Anthony.
Bring Anthony and anybody else.
Okay.
We'll have a whole, who else
crew.
is on? Who else is on with you guys? Just the 2 of you, right, on Saturday?
It's just the 2 of us, Saturday and Sunday.
Right. Yeah, because I like Anthony.
He's
cool.
the nicest.
I think I know one of his relatives.
He's related. A lot of people say that. He must have a big family in Johnston.
Is any of his family members a dentist or work in a dental profession?
I don't know.
We're wrapping up. We got to wrap up.
I'm going to ask him. We'll let you know next time when we come back.
Yeah, because I know same last name.
Oh.
Actually, same name, first and last name.
Oh, he is the 3rd, so maybe it's...
Could be. Could be.
I'll have to find out.
He owns a business in, where'd you say he's from?
Johnston.
Well, this guy owns a business in North Providence, but he doesn't live in North Providence.
Could be.
Well, let's go. Well, look, I got to say bye to you for now.
Oh, this was so fun.
So we're going to have you back again.
I would love to.
It was too short and we need more time. You're from East Greenwich, one of my favorite towns in Rhode Island.
I love
and
it.
I'll probably be back there at some point, moving back there. Having lived there for several years, I might be back there.
Oh, we could be neighbors.
Liz Bateson from East Greenwich, Rhode Island, and also on NBC WJAR TV 10 in Rhode Island on the weekekend.
Catch me there.
And during the week sometimes, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Until next time, folks, I'll see you in a couple weeks.